every story can be interpreted differently. But before we can discuss what a scene means, we can first look at something everyone can observe: the camera. Throughout the Not Cry Archon quest, Genshin repeatedly uses compositions to guide our attention. Here are some techniques it uses. The first is one of the most common and important compositional guidelines in cinematography, the rule of thirds. It's a grid made up of 2 vertical lines and 2 horizontal lines, dividing the frame evenly. Placing important subjects along these lines, especially near their intersections, often creates a more balanced composition while naturally guiding our eyes toward the subject. Genshin uses it constantly during conversations. Interestingly, it also carries over into gameplay. It even appears during action scenes. Subjects don't always align perfectly with the grid, but important movements often do. Genshin also uses it during character introductions. The second one is the easiest to observe: center framing and symmetry. Center framing places the subject in the middle of the frame. When the entire frame is balanced as well, it becomes a symmetrical composition. Genshin frequently uses this during conversations to draw our attention to the speaker. They also appear during action scenes. Not every center shot is symmetrical, but most symmetrical shots begin with a centered subject. Another technique used to guide our attention is leading lines. Simply put, leading lines are natural lines within the frame. They can be stairs, hallways, valleys, hills, or other structures. They don't always need to be straight, and they don't always come from architecture or nature. Sometimes characters, light, shadow, or even gaze direction can guide our attention instead. Sometimes leading lines don't work alone. They're often combined with another technique, frame within a frame. As you can see, the frame doesn't need to be the literal edge of the screen. It can be from mirrors, windows, arcs, and even light. This technique gives us a second, smaller area of focus within a shot, naturally emphasizing the subject. And now, the angle that puts us off balance, the Dutch angle. A Dutch angle tilts the horizon instead of keeping it level. Compared to the previous techniques, they appear far less often throughout the Not Cry Archon quest. But when they do appear, they're rarely accidental. Many of them accompany Dottore, but they're not exclusive to him. They also appear during moments of uncertainty, half-truths, confusion, or whenever something doesn't feel quite right. If you're interested in how Genshin uses Dutch angles specifically for Dottore in Not Cry Archon quest, I've already covered that in a separate video. I've left the link in the description below. Now, let's see what happens when Genshin combines several of these techniques together. It begins with a frame within a frame, then shifts into rule of thirds as the conversation begins. As Lumine starts questioning everything, the camera moves into center framing before returning to subtle leading lines and rule of thirds again as the two continue speaking. Together, these compositions quietly guide our attention as the conversation unfolds. You can also notice how either remains consistently aligned with the rule of thirds, while Lumine receives more dynamic framing. It can make either feel more fixed throughout the conversation. The camera may leave room for interpretation, but its choices are rarely accidental. The next time you play through an Archon quest, or story quest, or even world quest, try looking at the camera as much as the dialogue. You might notice more than you expected. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy the video, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. This has been Anora.